Thank you for joining us in the final countdown until the first major snowstorm of this year and the largest one I think that we'll have seen in a little while. I'm really thankful to everyone here from our teams who have been working hard to prepare all throughout the last several days, and we're here to share some of those preparations, plans, and announcements with you today. You will hear shortly after me from Chief of Streets Yasha Franklin Hodge, then Chief of Emergency Management Shumeen Benford, then Superintendent of Basic City Services Mike Brohl, and then we have, of course, all of the rest of our incredible leaders from police, fire, EMS also, and Boston City Council President Ruthie Louis-Jean here to step in and answer any questions that you may have as well. So we've all seen some of the news and the projections for a winter storm coming tomorrow, and our Office of Emergency Management and all of our departments have been working very closely to monitor the latest from the National Weather Service and any other sources of information that we can get. The best projections right now estimate that we will likely get between 8 and 12 inches of snow total, that it will come down pretty heavily during the morning commute, starting earlier in the morning and potentially continuing all the way through the afternoon tomorrow. That means that we are making the call today that Boston Public Schools will be closed tomorrow, Tuesday, February 13th. Starting tonight at 10 p.m., we are also declaring a snow emergency. That means that parking bans will be in effect on posted roadways and major arteries to ensure that we can keep streets clear of snow and available for emergency vehicles. So for residents who normally park on those streets and who have a resident parking sticker, you can find a list of free or discounted garages that we've partnered with at boston.gov/snow. Again, that starts at 10 p.m. tonight, that your car needs to be off of those roads and into those garages or elsewhere. Those garages do open up 2 hours before the snow emergency starts. So in this case, at 8 p.m., you can start moving your car and vehicles into those garages. Space savers can be used for up to 48 hours after the snow emergency ends in Boston, except in the South End, where the neighborhood has worked with the city to not allow for space savers. I also want to remind all residents that parking in Boston Public Schools parking lots during snowstorms is not allowed and will result in your car being towed. We just want to thank everyone. I know this is an inconvenience when that happens, but our goal is to make sure that we can get out there as quickly as possible, be as efficient as possible in clearing off the snow so that we're back and ready to go Wednesday morning. We want to make sure that kids are back in schools on Wednesday morning. Please stay off the roads tomorrow. Wherever possible, make plans to be indoors, stay off the roads. It's looking like it will come down pretty heavily, pretty fast. And we are trying to model this at City Hall as well. City buildings, municipal buildings will be closed so that our staff will be working from home wherever possible. Only emergency operations personnel will be reporting in person for the city workforce, and we encourage other employers to make arrangements to do the same so that we can keep those roads clear and keep everyone safe. While this is more snow than we've had this season, our teams are ready to make sure that all of our residents make it through the pending storm safely. Currently, we have 38,000 tons of salt ready to go, and our Public Works Department is going to be out there to treat the roads ahead of any snow. Our teams and the partners that we work with also have a total of 850 pieces of snow clearing equipment ready to get on the streets to clear that snow. As mentioned, we're also closing all BCYF centers, Boston Public Library branches, and city buildings. As our residents have shown time and again, keeping our community safe is a collective responsibility. And so I just want to remind property owners that we're responsible for clearing snow, sleet, and ice from the sidewalks and curb ramps near your property within 3 hours of snowfall ending, or if the snowfall ends overnight, within 3 hours of sunrise. Curb and pedestrian ramps to the street are critical for residents with disabilities and must be clear throughout the storm. Please remember that removing snow and ice from private property and pushing it onto a public street or sidewalk is prohibited, because that just ends up making it so that the work that we're putting in gets undone and it makes the roadways then unsafe. So please clear your snow the other direction out of the street. We're expecting low temperatures throughout the storm, so please check in on seniors in your networks and families and lives, our unhoused residents, anyone who seems disoriented, underdressed, or struggling in the winter weather. If you see someone who looks like they need help out in the cold, in the snow, please call 911 and our emergency teams will get to them right away. Our emergency shelters will be open 24 hours a day and will take walk-ins gladly. Men can access the men's shelter at 112 Southampton Street, and women can access the Woods Mullen shelter at 794 Mass Ave. Our teams at the Boston Public Health Commission and all across the city are working already with shelter partners to make sure that everyone has access to warm shelter, food, and resources. Most importantly, please remember to check in, reach out to your family, neighbors, loved ones, friends. Make sure that everyone has a plan to stay inside and stay safe and warm. We know that when our community comes together, we can weather any storm, and we will do so again this week. So to get more information about the snow emergency, this pending storm, and details about how we can all come together and what all the different responsibilities are, please visit boston.gov/snow. Okay, just a little bit in Spanish, and then I'll turn it over to Chief Franklin Hodge. Buenos días y gracias a todos. Estamos declarando una emergencia por nieve comenzando las 10 de la noche de hoy. Las escuelas públicas de Boston y edificios municipales estarán cerrados el día de mañana. Por favor, asegúrense de checar que sus vecinos mayores estén bien y no necesiten de nada. Más información está disponible en boston.gov/snow. Gracias. Okay, and I'll pass it over to Chief Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. I'm Yasha Franklin Hodge. I serve as Mayor Wu's Chief of Streets. So as the mayor stated, we're looking at a major storm tomorrow. This is going to be our first major storm in 2 years. This nor'easter will be quick, but it will pack a punch. In addition to snow and wind, the storm does align with astronomical high tides, so there is also the potential for some coastal flooding as risk as well. We've been preparing for the event since late last week, and I'm confident in our Public Works Department and our city workers that we are ready to meet the moment. I want to give a special appreciation to Superintendent of Basic City Services, Mike Brohl, and Superintendent of Highway Operations, Danny Nee, who are leading the Public Works response and planning. The Public Works Department has, as of last night, just shy of 40,000 tons of salt on hand, and we received another delivery of 3,000 tons this morning. The little break we've had in winter weather has given us time to make sure that we are fully restocked and all of our equipment is ready to go. We have 175 pieces of city-owned snow clearing equipment that we can put out on the streets, and with support from our contractors, we can put in excess of 800 pieces of equipment on the streets as needed during the storm. In addition to our main fleet of plows, over the last several years, we've been adding more smaller pieces of equipment, which helps us keep our curb ramps, crosswalks, and bike lanes clear and gives us the ability to come in and do cleanup work at the end of the storm. Our team has been finalizing the operational details of the response plan to match the specifics of the storm and the forecast, and we've reached out to all of the resources we rely on and have confirmed that they are ready to go. While we're prepared for the storm, the forecast models that we're looking at are showing snowfall rates of as high as 1 to 2 inches an hour during the peak of the storm. And what that means is that there will be times where snow accumulates on the roads. The crews are going to be working continuously to minimize the amount of snow accumulation and to clean up once the snow rates subside. But because of that, if we hit the high end of possible snowfall amounts, it may take a little bit of time to fully clear and treat every street. We prioritize our key arteries to make sure that emergency vehicles and public transit vehicles can move safely through the city. There is a snow emergency and a parking ban, as the mayor mentioned. The parking ban goes into effect at 10 p.m. tonight. The Boston Transportation Department and the Boston Police Department are ready to assist in towing cars that are parked along major arteries once that emergency is in effect. You can find a map of the streets where parking is prohibited at boston.gov/snow. And we ask everybody to pay very careful attention to the snow emergency parking signs that are up on the affected streets. Keeping cars off the street is, as the mayor said, critical to our management of the snow. It allows us to push snow close to the curb, and it means that at the end of the storm, we have wider, safer, more passable streets for everybody. As the mayor noted, discounted garage spaces are available for people who need a place to store their car, and those garages do open up at 8 p.m. tonight. Trash, recycling, and food waste pickup will start at 4 a.m. tomorrow. This is early because we want to get our collections going to try to stay ahead of the worst of the storm. So if you want your trash picked up tomorrow, and tomorrow is your trash day, please make sure that it is out on the curb tonight because we will be out very, very early in the morning doing those collections. I want to talk a little bit about safety and some of the things that residents can do during and after the storm. For your safety and to allow our plows to work, please stay off the roads as much as possible. If you are able, Tuesday is a great day to work from home, and everyone should avoid any non-essential travel. The heavy rate of snowfall has the potential to produce dangerous travel conditions during the peak of the storm. And so for those who do need to travel, we strongly encourage you to bundle up and use public transportation. If you must be on the road, give yourself extra time, drive slowly, and leave plenty of room, especially when you are around plows. Do not crowd the plow with your car. No matter how you travel, expect some delays during the height of the storm tomorrow. Once the storm has ended, it is your responsibility to shovel sidewalks and to keep them clear in the days following the storm. A 42-inch wide path of travel is necessary to make sure that people using wheelchairs or pushing a stroller can safely navigate city streets. We ask that you clear your sidewalks as soon as possible after the snow ends because people are out and about. But as the mayor said, you have, per our policy, 3 hours after the end of snow. If it ends overnight, you have 3 hours until sunrise. After that point, you may be ticketed if your sidewalks are not clear. We are expecting an extended period of cold weather following this storm, so if you do not clear your sidewalks right away, you may find that they ice over and become very difficult to treat in the ensuing days. So please do this as quickly as you can. Property owners are also responsible for clearing curb ramps at crosswalks if their property abuts a corner. And this is critical to keep our sidewalks safe, especially for older adults or people with mobility difficulties. Making sure that those ramps are clear helps keep people moving safely through the city. As the mayor said, do not shovel snow into the street. It makes it difficult for our plows to work, and it creates extra work for the teams that will already have their hands full with this storm. The city will issue tickets to properties that do not maintain clear sidewalks or that shovel snow into the street. And you can report unshoveled sidewalks after the storm by calling 311 or using the Boston 311 app. Space savers are allowed for 48 hours after the end of a declared snow emergency, except in the South End and now Bay Village. That was recently added as a second neighborhood. They are banned in both of those neighborhoods. Any items that are left on the street after the allowed snow emergency period will be collected and discarded by city staff. We encourage residents to go to boston.gov/snow. You'll find all the information you need available in 12 different languages. But before I go, I want to acknowledge and thank the dedicated city staff and contractors. They will be on the front lines of this storm throughout the day tomorrow, and then in the days that follow. Their work is essential to keeping the city safe, and I'm very grateful for their dedication and commitment. Big storms are a cooperative effort between the city and our residents. And we encourage everybody to stay safe, look out for your neighbors, and do your part to keep the city moving during the storm. Thank you very much. I think we have, Chief Benford.
Morning, everyone. Shumaine Benford, Chief of Emergency Management for the city. I want to thank the mayor for her leadership in this space and thank all of my colleagues represented here today, as well as all of our city workers across the spectrum, as well as the community that's going to be assisting in the response. We had a series of meetings over the last couple of days with regards to planning and preparedness, as well as response to the storm. We have a coordinated plan. In an agency plan that's working with all of the stakeholders represented here today to include Public Works, Public Safety, BPS, our Health Commission, and we're paying particular attention under the Health Commission's auspices and guidance to our homeless community as well as our aging population. We have open lines of communication with our state partners over at MEMA, Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, as well as our private sector partners. We're asking neighbors, you're hearing some common themes, we're asking neighbors to look out for each other, particularly those that may be homebound or who may need further assistance in response to the storm. We're also asking our residents in the spirit of community to work with us and shovel out hydrants that are close to your homes. That would be greatly appreciated. The Emergency Operations Center will be operational and we will be activated. We'll continue to monitor the storm throughout to assist with coordination across city departments as well as with our other partners. For those residents looking for updates, you can certainly register for Alert Boston. It's posted on the city's website on how to do that. And again, a common theme, want to make sure that we thank those that appropriately do our gratitude to include you for helping us share the information, as well as all of the staff that's going to be working over the coming days to make our city safe and help us to return it to normalcy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Benford. Mike Broll, Superintendent of Basic City Services. I'll be very brief. A lot of good information has already been shared. If we do realize the high end of this snowstorm, we will be going into some snow removal following into Wednesday morning. We start that with hitting some squares and major arterials where we see a lot of high pedestrian volume in every neighborhood across the city. We will then go into some snow removal in the overnight hours Wednesday into Thursday. The men and women who will be working this event, will be a tight event by way of our snowfall. It'll be long hours. We always appreciate their effort, timeliness, and just attention to detail. To echo all the points, staying off the roads is critical, allows the plows to do their work. This is nothing new in the city. It just feels new because our last major snowstorm was roughly, I guess, 25 months ago. But the men and women are ready. We've got a good plan across all departments, and we're looking forward to getting another snowstorm under our belts. Thank you.
Any questions? Yes, I did some. Otra vez? Yes. Okay, so especialmente en el caso de el shelter para las familias inmigrantes, tenemos planes ya con el gobierno estatal para la comida y otras maneras de apoyos, entonces es parte de nuestro plan de la ciudad. Oh, any other on topic before we go off? Good, good. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sure. I just wanted to see if you would be able to get into your plans for the overnight sleeping space in Atkinson Street.
The engagement center?
Yes.
Yep. As we've been watching and noting in various places, as more new families are arriving with the migrant crisis to cities everywhere, Massachusetts and Boston has been welcoming many families. Much of the attention has been on families with children who are part of the state's shelter system and the work that we've been doing to support that. However, there are a large number of individuals who have been arriving as well, who are not connected to a family unit and therefore are not eligible for that shelter system. The city runs the system that is designed to support individual adults who are not part of the family shelters, and we've been seeing in recent weeks and months about 25% of our beds at the local level with the system focused on individual adults, including the city's shelters that the Boston Public Health Commission runs, as well as those at Pine Street Inn and other nonprofit providers. About 25% of the beds have been newly arrived migrant individuals, and overall it has been putting some pressure on the capacity of our system. And so we do need to open an overflow space. The shelters have been operating at expanded capacity already for a number of weeks with people sleeping on cots and sometimes having to put out mats when it is getting to overflow. And so we're opening up the engagement center just for overnight overflow for up to 30 individuals who need it to accommodate the growing need that we're experiencing. This will be a temporary measure.
So is this to capture the people who are sleeping outside Southampton Street Shelter who aren't able to get in because it's full for the night?
No, the shelters we haven't been turning anyone away at this point at all. And so if there are folks outside, we continue to do outreach and try to encourage everyone to come indoors into the shelter every single night of the year. But we have seen that in order to make space within the existing shelters to be able to accommodate everyone, they have been pushing past their ideal capacity. And so we're temporarily opening up the engagement center just for overflow for that.
And this is people who have already been identified as meeting this need who
Yes.
aren't placed elsewhere?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And this is for about a month's period, or?
That's right, to get through the cold.
Okay, got it.
Anything else? Good? Okay, thank you, everyone.